We have stopped the spread of nuclear weapons in this region.
If, in fact, it's as bad a deal as I think it is at this moment, we'll do everything we can to stop it.
President Obama holding a press conference today to address concerns over the historic nuclear deal with Iran. Republicans vowing to derail it. Joining us this morning with his perspective is NKU political science professor Ryan Salzman. Of course, compromises had to be made. They missed a number of deadlines. Who do you think came out ahead?
Well, I think that a deal was reached, so in that sense, the negotiators have to feel really good, and I guess if we're going to give it to any side, it's those in favor of diplomacy. Okay,
what about Benjamin Netanyahu, who said the exact opposite of what President Obama said there? He goes, the world is a more dangerous place. Your reaction to that?
I don't think that's fair probably to say that the world is a more dangerous place, so that would be to assume that if we were to go back a month or 2 years, that somehow we're worse off because there's a deal on the table, and really what it comes down to is there's two perspectives. One is all deals are bad. The second one is that this deal is bad. And I think that President Netanyahu, I think that maybe the Republicans in Congress, they don't want any deal. They don't see how that could even be possible.
It's different for Israel, though, because they're in the middle of it, correct?
It is different. It is different. They're definitely going to feel like it's much more pressing on them, much like we do down with the Mexican border with the drug cartels and the like. But it doesn't really change the realities of the nuclear program that Iran has right now.
Let's talk about, we always say the U.S., President Obama, the Obama administration, but really it was the U.S., the EU, and the UN all negotiating, correct?
Right. There were a number of partners, including Russia and China, were at the table as well.
What does Russia get out of this?
Well, I don't know that they get a whole lot out of it, except that it couldn't have had any validity without Russia and China being there.
Okay, in this country, we could see gas for as little as $2 a gallon because of this. Tell me the reasons why.
Well, the reason why would be because if the sanctions are lifted on Iran, then they will be able to export the oil that they have and that they produce. They're a major producer of oil. And because they'll be able to produce that, it'll drive down the prices globally.
And how bad? They also get to have access once again to like $150 billion, correct?
Right. So also freeing up some bank accounts and some other funds as well will be something that they will have access to.
Now, of course, the U.S. is not the only consumer of oil. We consume a lot, but we're not the only consumer. Nope. How important was it for Iran to get the U.S. market back?
Well, it's very important, and also anybody who is an ally with us who also buys their oil.
Good point. Okay, now, the one thing that's off the table are SNAP inspections. Why did the U.S., the EU, and the UN want that, and what's on the table right now?
Well, what's on the table right now are planned inspections, and planned inspections in perpetuity, meaning that there really is no end to this deal.
Okay.
But in terms of SNAP inspections being able to arrive in, that was probably always going to be too much, given that most countries are just not in favor of having anybody come in and say, like, I'm going to inspect right now.
But how do you tell if Iran is up to sneaky business? Because if I was hiding booze in my room and I was 16 years old, my parents says, I'm going to be up there in 30 minutes, I throw it all out the window.
Well, you know, I guess if that were the case, and they could come up and look in your room, but maybe they would say, well, I'll come smell your breath as well.
There you go. There you go, Ryan Salzman. You had a long night, too.
Oh, yes.
Like a lot of other people. Thanks for stopping.